Thank you for warm introduction. Today I will present on enhancing ovarian assessment on in-depth review of MRI and their clinical implications. It's my honor to present into this vital topic with you all today. Ovarian masses are a common finding in daily practice. It may be incidentally detected or identified in symptomatic patients. Characterization of ovarian region is diagnostic challenge. It is of great importance in preoperative setting in order to plan adequate therapeutic procedures. It may influence patient management. MRI may provide useful information for the characterization of ovarian masses as non-neoplastic or neoplastic and as benign or malignancy. Moving toward, we explore the.
Excuse me, could you like the slide?
Yeah, my lecture slide. And next slide. Moving toward, we will explore the various types of adnexal masses. Our emphasis will be on the differential diagnosis based on morphological appearance, understanding the unique MR signal intensity of each type, the enhancement features specific to each regions. We will then dive deep into differential diagnosis using a range of real-world cases, aiming to enhance our understanding and diagnostic skill. We are going to discuss the categorization of adnexal masses. These masses are divided into two groups, ovarian and non-ovarian masses. The non-ovarian masses include hydrosalpinx, biosalpinx, tubo-ovarian abscess, tubal cancer, mucosal appendix, metastatic lymphadenopathy, small bowel tumor, development cyst, diverticular abscess, and broad ligament fibroid. Now let's focus on ovarian masses. They can be categorized as functional cyst, benign non-neoplastic masses, and neoplasm. MRI can be used as a problem-solving tool when US and CT findings are equivocal or suboptimal. Many indeterminate ovarian masses can be characterized further by MRI. MRI is able to identify various types of tissue within ovarian cystic regions, including cyst, fluid or hemorrhage, solid portions, fat, and fibrosis. MRI can be a valuable modality for evaluating ovarian cystic regions, especially to distinguish benign from malignant ovarian conditions. An ovarian mass is primarily a cystic mass, depends on whether it has a solid portion or not. This chart illustrates the diagnostic strategy based on MRI features of ovarian cystic mass. MRI is unique in its ability to explore intracellular contents and recognize the presence of substance that may produce signal behavior. This image shows the signal intensity for each substance based on the modality. To remind you again, fluid shows a high signal intensity on T1 weighted images and a low signal intensity on T2 weighted images. Blood displays a high signal intensity on T1 weighted image and ranges from high to shading on T2 weighted image. Fat exhibits a high signal intensity on T1 weighted image and gets suppressed on fat suppression images. Next, we will look at the MR finding of benign cystic regions without a solid component in ovarian cystic masses, which displays a low signal intensity on T1 weighted image and high signal intensity on T2 weighted image. A 46 years old female presented with dysmenorrhea on ultrasound, a septated cyst with clear fluid can be observed in the right ovary. The MRI reveals a high signal intensity on T2 weighted image and low signal intensity on T1 with mild enhancement with thin wall. This is consistent with a follicular cyst. A 38 years old female with dysmenorrhea. You can see a huge cystic mass with a solid portion on ultrasound. On MRI, the cystic mass is revealed as a homogeneous high scarcity mass with thin walls and without a solid component. Low signal intensity thick band in the anterior aspect over here is due to the dielectric artifact. It has been confirmed as serous cyst adenoma. Regardless of its size, this type of formation is always benign. Let's now explore benign cyst region that present with normal appearing ipsilateral ovaries. A 37 years old female present with frequency and nocturia. A large cystic mass is visible in the pelvic cavity. Can you locate the normal appearing ovary attached to the cyst in this case? This case is a parovarian cyst which is synonymous with a paratubal cyst. It originated from the broad ligament and can arise from structures such as the mesonephric duct, paramesometric duct, or mesothelial inclusions. This cyst can grow as large as 20 cm in size. Complications can include hemorrhage, infection, torsion, and rupture. As seen in previous case and this one, imaging findings displays a normal ipsilateral ovary, but it is separate from the cyst. The cyst is characterized as a thin wall unilocular cyst. A 48 years old female has a history of total hysterectomy due to uterine leiomyosarcoma. On MR image, a large loculated cyst with an eccentric normal appearing ovary can be observed. You can see here. In this case, you can distinguish the cyst appearance from that of a typical parovarian cyst which displays a normal appearing ovary. The cyst can appear as either a single chamber or multiple chambers. When you look at the imaging, you can see the cyst wall is defined by the boundaries of the pelvic wall, various pelvic organ, and even loop of bowel loop. One of the distinguished features is its irregular shape or contour. Another characteristics to note is the positioning of the intact ovary. It can be located in the center or toward the edge of the cyst. Regarding the signal intensity on MRI, when the cyst contains serous fluid, it typically presents with low signal intensity on T1 and high signal intensity on T2. However, if there is loculated old blood within the cyst, the T1 weighted image will show a high signal intensity. Next, we will explore lesions categorized as benign cystic lesion that displays a high signal intensity on T1 weighted image and exists signal loss on PET saturation T1 weighted image. As you can see on MRI, a large cystic mass can be observed with high signal intensity on both on T1 and T2 weighted images. On the fat saturation image, the cystic portion exhibits signal loss. No enhancement is observed in the cystic region after contrast administration. This is indicative of multiple cystic teratoma. A 48 years old female present with a pelvic mass on MRI image, you can observe a focal area of high signal intensity within the cystic mass in the right adnexal area. This specific area exhibited signal loss on the fat saturation image for this case. The fat was more distinctly visualized on the CT compared to the MRI. The MRI and CT findings for a mature cystic teratoma typically highlights it was fat-containing lesion. Potential complications include rupture, torsion, infection, and malignant transformation. A 32-year-old female present with left lower quadrant pain. The CT scan reveals a fatty mass in the right adnexal area, accompanied by an eccentric soft tissue dense lesion. A distinct falling appearance can be observed, indicative of a torsion rot. This is a case of the left adnexal torsion. Next, let's explore lesions that retained a high signal intensity on fat-saturated T1 weighted image or exhibited T2 shading on T2 weighted image. This diagram summarizes the characteristics of high signal intensity cystic lesions on T1 weighted image. If a lesion remains high signal intensity on T2 weighted image, it suggests a hemorrhage cyst. If there is signal loss on fat-saturated T1 weighted image, it's indicator teratoma, and if shading is observed on T2 weighted image, it points to a endometrial cyst. The shading effect characterized by hyperintensity on T1 and hypointensity on T2 weighted images due to degenerated blood product of varying ages and resorption of free water. This results in increased ion concentration and viscosity. In the upper case, we observe the cystic mass in the left adnexal lesion displaying high signal intensity on T1 and intermediate signal intensity on T2 weighted image. Conversely, the lower case presents a cystic mass in the right adnexal area with high signal intensity on T2 weighted image and dark signal intensity on T1 weighted image. Both instances showcase that T2 shading effect indicative of endometrial cyst. Let's move on to attention to compare complex cystic masses. To assess the complex cystic masses, contrast enhanced T1 weighted image should be conducted. Contrast enhancement can be broadly divided into tumoral enhancement and inflammatory enhancement. When small vegetation are seen in limited numbers, it's indicative of either benign or borderline malignancy. The borderline malignancy epithelial tumor with low malignant potentials shows distinct histology and clinical entity. It is common in young women. It is non-invasive with better prognosis. Imaging findings shows a complex adnexal masses, similar to stage 1 ovarian invasive cancer, ascites in 58% of borderline tumors. You can see the large cystic mass with multiple locular areas with thin septations. Notably, there were no enhancing solid component, and each chamber shows different signal intensity on both on T1 and T2 weighted images. The diagnosis based on these imaging characteristics point to a mucinous cyst adenoma, which is a benign tumor. This is a 43-year-old woman with RLQ pain. USG shows a unilocular cyst in the left ovary with multiple vegetation. In the MRI, we observed a large locular cystic mass. This mass was characterized by thick septation and evident papillary projections. Based on these imaging characteristics, the diagnosis pointed to a serous borderline tumor. If a tumor shows tumoral enhancement and displays low signal intensity on T2 weighted image, what differential diagnosis should be considered? You can see a small vegetation with T2 low signal intensity and enhancement in posterior aspect of the large cyst. This is a 20 years old woman with serous cyst adenocarcinoma arising from a parovariant cyst. This upper case, a 67 years old woman with Brenner tumor of borderline malignancy with a multiloculated cystic pattern. Axial T2 weighted image shows multilocular cystic mass in the pelvic cavity. The signal intensity of thickened septal is iso-intense to that of adjacent piriformis muscle. Low case is a 24-year-old woman with malignant Brenner tumor with a heterogeneous solid pattern. Axial T2 weighted image shows an irregular and heterogeneous mass mixed with cysts and solid component in both adnexa. The mass shows predominant light ovarian involvement of direct invasion to the uterus and rectum that are conglomerated and cannot be distinguished from each others. This case of malignant Brenner tumor. Next, let's explore lesions that exhibit inflammatory enhancement. You can see the large cystic mass in the pelvic cavity. The mass shows internal protein materials on ultrasound and thick enhancing septa on CT scan. MR imaging shows various signal intensity which can be attributed to viscosity and protein concentration in tubo-ovarian abscess. On T1 weighted image, it is characterized by low signal intensity surrounding by a thin rim of high signal intensity due to granulation tissue and hemorrhage. T2 weighted image reveals heterogeneous high signal intensity with shading in the peripheral portions. Additionally, mesh-like strand can be observed in the pelvic pap plan, indicating adhesion of fibrosis. Lastly, let's explore malignant cystic regions. First, we have a malignant transformation of mature cystic teratoma. You can see the large cystic mass visible with a fat fluid level on both ultrasound and CT scan. On MRI, there is a discernible solid enhancing portion within the cyst. Additionally, the lesion exhibits diffusion restriction. A 21-year-old female presenting with indigestion. Her CA125 level is 2,900. Ultrasound imaging revealed a cystic, solid and cystic complex mass within the pelvic cavity. Bilateral heterogeneous mass are observed in both adnexal areas. The mass demonstrates very heterogeneous and dense enhancement with diffusion restriction. The histopathological result confirmed the mass to be a serous cyst adenocarcinoma. MRI criteria for malignant ovarian tumor can be divided into primary criteria and ancillary criteria as follows. In both cases showing similar enhancement, the left case reveals a malignant tumor originating from endometrial cyst, while the right case demonstrates a borderline tumor manifestation as a small enhancing vegetation. This is a case of the mucinous cyst. This is a case of the mucinous cystic adenocarcinoma. You can see the huge mass with the different signal intensity on each chambers. In the contrast enhanced T1 weighted image, a solid portion that enhanced is observed in the superior part of the mass. Malignant transformation endometriosis can be detected through MRI. Malignancy arising from endometrial cysts are predominantly endometrioid and clear cell carcinoma. This is a case of clear cell carcinoma arising from endometrial cyst. You can see the enhancing mural nodule on T1 gadolinium enhanced sequences, a loss of shading on T2 weighted image. Yes, I prepared the case of solid tumor, but I limited the time. I passed the solid tumors image findings. In conclusion, MRI plays a crucial role in characterization and staging of adnexal masses, especially in the cystic masses. Characterization of an ovarian lesion may influence patient management. Differential pathologic conditions may have similar radiologic manifestations. Non-neoplastic lesions should always be taken into consideration. Thank you for your attention.